All right, so question 34. A manufacturer makes 4 different models of a particular product. Matrix B below gives the number of units of commodities A, B, and C required to make one of each model type. Now, I think I talked to some students in my other class about this, and I think the thing which completely threw them was the word commodity. They're like, I don't know what the word commodity means, and then they just couldn't get it. They said, I just don't get it. I'm like, okay, well, let's look at the actual matrix and go, what is this matrix showing us? Whether you know the word commodity or not. So we look at it and we go, okay, it's got model 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so it's a product. It's a model 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually if you've got a product, we're then looking at either the cost of the product or we're looking at what parts are included in a product. So what do you think for this question it's talking about? Commodity A, B, and C. It's the parts, okay? It's what parts are in there. Commodity actually just means like what something in it, okay? But even if you had no idea what commodity was, you just got to go, okay, model 1 has 2 A's, 20 B's, and 2 C's. Like you want to just look at it and go, okay, this is all within model 1. This is all within model 2, etc. All right, so you don't have to write out this matrix, but I will just so that we can use it as we go. What I want you to do is as soon as you see a matrix, when it's worded, is try and make sense of it. If you can't work out what it means, you're straight away putting yourself behind everyone else. You're kind of straight away going, I can't do this properly. Well, if we can make sense of it, what did I say? Pardon? No. I clearly said no music. Clearly. If we look at this, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 20, 30, 50, 40, 2, 1, 3, 2. If we look at this, I go, okay, what does this mean? We've got model 1, model 2, model 3, model 4, and we've got A, B, and C. The first way to make sense of it is to go, what does the first row mean? If you can describe what the first row means and you can describe what the first column means, then you're good with that matrix. So this first row, when it says commodity A and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, the first row means model 1 needs 2 lots of A, model 2 needs 3 lots of A. So it's how many A's are needed in each model. If we look at so that's for the row. If we look at the column, it's actually all about model 1. It's saying model 1 has 2 A's, 20 B's, 2 C's. So we can make sense of it that way, all right? It then says each unit of the commodities A, B, and C costs the manufacturers $800, $50, and $1,000 respectively. What's the word respectively mean? Not equally? Not approximately? So see how it's given you 3 numbers? It's actually saying in the same order. So you know how it said, pardon? Yeah, so you know how it says each unit of the commodities A, B, and C, and you'll see the word respectively all the time, guys. So if you don't know it, you need to know it, okay? Because it's in the order A, B, and C, and then it's got $850 and $1,000. It's saying the numbers are in the same order as those labels I just gave you. So within that question, it's telling us that commodity A equals $800, commodity B equals $50, and commodity C equals $1,000. Write this information as matrix E, either a column matrix or a row matrix, whichever can form a product with D. So you've been told that this is D. What's the word product mean? Product. The result of multiplying, okay? Product means multiplying. So it's saying you need to make either a column or a row matrix which can be multiplied with D, whether it be pre-multiplied or post-multiplied. That's what that sentence is saying. I'll just read it to you again because I know it was confusing for people. Write this information as matrix E, so you're going to name it E, either a column matrix or a row matrix, so you need to decide which one's going to work. whichever can form a product with D. So whichever can actually be multiplied with D is what that's saying. Can you guys see that? Okay, so we've kind of got two options. We've either got, so it's going to be called E, but it's either 850 and 1,000, or it's 850, sorry, 1,000. 850 and 1,000. So we need to be able to work out which one it is. What do we need to sort of almost do first to work that out? Yeah, do the columns and the rows of this one. So let's go 3 and 4. And then we've either got 3 and 1 or 1 and 3. All right, so if we're post multiplying, how many if we're multiplying D by something post multiplying, so after, how many rows does it need to have? If we're going to put the matrix after D. No. Pardon? It would have to have 4 if we were putting it after. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So if we look at this, I'll just tell you something for a sec. If we look at this, if we were going to multiply something here, because there's 4 columns, we would have to be multiplying by 4 rows. Do any of these have 4 rows? No. So therefore we have to multiply this, pre-multiply this first. Okay, so think about that. Do that. Okay, so then I'm going, okay, if I'm going to multiply by something by this second, so what I'm saying is I'm going to have a matrix and then I'm going to have the matrix here. And I've got 4 and 3. How many rows or columns, like what do we know has to be here on the left-hand side? It has to have 3 columns. Which one has 3 columns? Of the 2 options? This one. So therefore I have to use that one. So I have to go 850, 1,000. Can you guys see that? Now, I'm going to give you a really big tip. I haven't actually told you guys that. So even the people who aren't listening, could you just listen up for a second, please? Yeah? So when you look at this, if we look at what the down the side was, see how it was commodities A, B, and C here? I'll just do it in a different colour. See how this was A, B, and C? And this was 1, 2, was 1, 2, 3, 4? I think. Yeah. So model 1, model 2, model 3, model 4. Okay. See how you've got that? On the left-hand one, which was about the price, okay, what would be along the top? A, B, C? And what would be on the left-hand side? Probably like price, yeah, money, something like that. So you know how we get our answer, and our answer comes from, we take away these 2. How big's our answer matrix going to be? It's going to be 1 by 4 because of this leftover bit. That 1 seems to have disappeared. What you can also do is, because your answer is going to be 1 by 4, is your answer is actually also going to have those same labels. Because see how ABC is ABC? They balance each other out. They're related to each other. That's what we're multiplying. Whatever's left is actually what we're looking at. So we've got cost of model 1, model 2, model 3, model 4. And that's what our answer is going to come out as. So we'll just do it on our calculator quickly. Does everybody see that? So if you get really stuck and it says, what does this actually show? Put the same titles, the 2 leftover titles in, and see if that makes sense to you to be able to describe it. So we'll then put it into our calculator. Oh, broken my computer. All right. It's a bit disappointing. Okay. If you then open up your calculator, oh, that's not, you don't need your 12 presentation night. Sorry. You need a calculator. You can have that like next year instead. Okay, add a calculator. And then we need to actually put in our matrices. So first one is 1 row by 1 column. I'm sorry, 1 row by 3 columns. What numbers were they? 850 and 1,000. Now, if there's a lot of questions, what should you do with this? Instead of just writing it out, you could also, you could store it, yeah? So we could store it as, that one is E. I could do the same for the other one. And it's 3 by 4. So we've got 2, 3, 1, 2, 20, 30, 50, 40, 2, 1, 3, 2. I'm going to store that as D. Now, you know how you had that question which said like which way should it be and which ways will work? You can always store them and like try them out and you'll be able to work it out as well. Like if you get completely stuck, trial and error isn't a bad thing. I'll put that in. And so then I'm just saying E times D. Make sure you do put in the time sign, otherwise it doesn't work. Oh, and use the right letter. And we get these numbers. So the question actually says to us, like, what does this actually mean? What does this answer actually mean? If we think about what labels we just put on the columns and the rows, what does it actually mean?
The amounts.
It's the amount, the cost of making model 1, model 2, model 3, model 4. Can you see how the titles can help you actually get there? Okay, so if you can look at that, you can go, okay, it's something to do with cost, it's something to do with the models. Oh, it's the cost of the models, and so on. Is everyone okay with that? Yes. Did I put the right numbers in? Has anyone else got the same as me? Yeah, okay. It might just be made a number wrong, so we'll have a look at it. Okay. Form the product referred to in A and explain the information displayed. So we just did that. Okay, explain, and often we'll ask you that, explain what it means. So that's why getting to the story at the start is really, really important for you. If you don't, then you're gonna struggle at the end. However, if you're having trouble only with the last questions of each of the questions, I wouldn't stress too much. If you can do all the processes and get all that, the last question is going to be worth 1 or 2 marks. And it's going to become with practice. You're going to get it in the end if you're getting the rest of it. If you're having trouble at the start, that's where you need to be really practicing because that's where you're going to get stuck. All right? Any questions on question 34? All right, question 35. What time does this class finish? 2:30? Okay, cool. We'll do it quickly. I haven't done this one yet, so that's good. All right, question 35. Sorry. All right. A manufacturer makes 3 different models of a particular item. Matrix P below gives the number of minutes in the cutting area, the assembling area, and the packing area required to make each model. So we're looking at minutes for each model, minutes to make it, okay? And you've been given this, it's called P, and it's saying 30, 20, 10, 20, 30, 10, 40, 40, and 10. and it's called P, and it's model A, model B, model C, and cutting, assembling, packing. Okay, the manufacturer receives orders for 50 A's, 100 B's, and 80 C's. And it says you could write it as a column matrix or you could write it as a row matrix. So it could be written A, B, C, 50, 100, 80. Or it could be 50, 100, 80, A, B, C. Both PQ and Q and RP could be formed, but only one of these will contain information which will be useful. All right, so thinking about this, if we're looking at this ABC, where do we want it to link up with? What do we want it to be multiplied by? We also want it to be linked up to the other ABCs in the other matrix because we want the number of A's to be multiplied by the number of, like the amount of minutes for A. We want the number of B's to be multiplied by the number of minutes for B. The number of C's to be multiplied by the number of minutes for C. So this again comes down to that the number of columns equals the number of rows. In these questions, they're often the exact same, they're related to the same thing. So it's about model A, model B, model C, model A, model B, model C. So which way actually works? They can both work, but what's going to actually give you a useful answer? R and then this one, R and then P as a row. Can you guys see that? Because you're going to end up with ABC up here, and then it relates to the ABC here. And so what's your answer then going to show? Yeah, to make each one in each one. Yeah. And then that's it. How are you feeling? A bit better? Does that help? All right. If you guys can do these, then most of those other matrices sort of questions are going to be pretty easy as long as you can practice the non-calculator skills as well. But if you can start understanding the words of this, you're already way ahead. Okay?